want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you keep giving me posh nosh, you don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
So I'm about to catch some bags for the crew.
Oh, nice. I've just sent me some more bags actually, so we'll have to watch out for that.
I did see your email. I was like, oh, I need to get back to that.
I've just printed 1,000 two-colour by hand. I swear to God, I'll never do it again.
Oh, mate, that's it's painful. How long did it take?
15 hours. 15. Yep. So yesterday yesterday were 10. This morning were 5. And then, do you know what the best part about it is? This is first time I've done this in a really long time. I looked at the fact, I sort of got halfway through, maybe about 500 or 600 totes, and I noticed the blue were a fraction of a shade off the original artwork. And I've just sort of thought, fuck it. I'm halfway through now, I've got to carry on. And I'm just praying I don't get an email at some point saying, what's going on here, Daddy? I mean, it's a fraction, but I think I've just been a little bit so overworked that mistakes are starting to creep in now. So, it's time for that's right, exactly.
need that auto, mate. That'll take you what? 2 hours?
Yeah, 2.5 maybe. How sick
on your
it?
own, 2.5 on your own, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely disgusting. Makes you want to vomit. But anyway, nearly there, mate.
Right, let's kick off.
Go for it, Tony.
Are we ready?
I'm happy if you are.
Right, okay, so welcome to Chippy Tea podcast. We are on number 60.
59.
Episode 60?
Nah,
59, 60? Is it 59? All right, episode 59 of Chippy Tea podcast. What is the Chippy Tea podcast? It is your chance to catch up on a video call that happens regularly between me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny D, Flipper Suit Print Co. And
this week we're joined by
Alex from Supreme Screen.
There we go. See, smooth as.
The one and only.
We've stepped it up this week, and we've got a guest in. We're going to have a bit of a chat with Alex, who's had what can only be described as a whirlwind year, I think, and probably a little bit going further back than that. A lot of people know Alex from Supreme Screen. A lot of people see his Instagram, watch what he's doing. Basically, we're just going to have a quick chat and a catch up with what's been going on, really.
Our mate Alex. Can we start from the origins? Can we ask?
Oh, we've got to do an origin story. How did it all start, Alex? What was this, a bad dream? What was it? Did somebody speak to you in the middle of the night and go, "You must start printing screen T-shirts"? How did it all start?
It started. I was in music and we needed some merch, and I was looking around. I was like, merch is really expensive. It can't be that hard. So I didn't even know what screen printing was. So then I think probably on YouTube, back in the earlier days of YouTube, found a couple of videos. I thought this looks interesting, and then it just called out to me. What can I say? I went back to the band. I was like, guys, listen, let me use some band funds, buy this little press, and I was like, I can make it back in like 2 runs of T-shirts. Like we've already made the money back. So they were like, here goes Al again with his harebrained ideas. So they did. They let me. I took 1,500 quid of band cash, bought this little tabletop press from Art to Silk Screen Print or whatever they were called.
Wow. They're still going, I think. Yeah.
Are they still going?
Yeah.
So I bought this little tabletop 6-color press.
Really?
And,
wow.
Yeah.
Tabletop 6-color.
Yeah. You just clamped it to the table.
Bolt it on, yeah.
Awful. Heap of junk.
Yeah.
Absolute heap of junk. Couldn't hold registration. Wooden frames. Wooden screen. Wooden screens.
Christ.
In the basement, the whole house stunk of white spirits. Washing out screens in the bar. Stained the bar. Honestly, just nuts. And I would coat screens and leave them standing upright, leaning against the walls.
What year was this?
This was 2012.
Oh, actually, that's crazy. So you started in the same year as me. So
Oh,
that
really?
is phenomenal growth then from 2012 to now. So just short of 11 years. Crazy.
I don't know. Things look better on Instagram than they really are, though, won't they?
Never believe anything you see on the Instagram.
That's it.
Killing it,
That's
mate.
it. No, it's all fake. It's all fake, mate. It's all fake.
So
Yeah.
you are almost like, in the nicest possible way, the stereotypical screen printer story. From band, we really need our own shirts, I'm going to start screen printing. I feel like that is like a story that you hear quite a lot, but you've took it to a whole new level. The quality of work that you're putting out.
It's like a Welsh Ryan Moore, isn't it?
Right.
Did you ever cut up an M&R in the car park? That's all I want to know. So, at what point of printing shirts of your own band did it branch out into doing custom orders, I guess? For other people? Other bands, did they just jump on it type of thing?
Yeah, within a few months, really. So, yeah, we went from, I say me, just making our own shirts, and a few people going, oh, can you make 20 shirts for me? And, just sort of went from there, really. And then after a couple of months, I realised that this press was an absolute heap of junk. I was like, this is no good. I can't do more than one colour. So,
No.
And I had this flash, that you kind of pull over, and but it didn't actually spin, so you had to physically move the whole thing back and forth.
Yeah, like little caster wheels.
Yeah, and I would like use the white spirit to clean things down, and then one time I forgot that white spirit was flammable, and I had all this white spirit on the pallet, and then pulled this flash over to dry it, and the whole.
Whoa!
So here I am.
Was it wood pallets as well?
Yeah, wood pallets.
Oh man!
Like all just bent and warped, but anyway, when I realised, this is heap of junk, I was like, I need to do something better, and then I came across Dave Roper. Gave him a call and bought this like 20-odd-year-old Rotatex, and so yeah, this
it's like a creamy colour.
I can't remember what colour it was originally, but it was rusted to high heavens. It was a mess.
Wow.
So I bought it for I think $1,000 or something, and I brought it back. I took every nut and bolt out of it. I took it completely apart. So all I was left with was the metal. I took it off, got it sandblasted, and then got it powder coated. And then I sent all the nuts and bolts away to be, I can't remember what the word is for it, but something like that. They came back sparkling and brand new, basically.
That's awesome.
And then we put the whole press back together again, and it looked like a brand new Rotatex, like this really nice, powder coat, silvery grey colour. Anyway, so
that's cool.
I did that. It cost about £600 altogether, something like that, to do all the work. And then, and then I ran that for about 18 months. And then I got my first 10 grand order. And it took me, took me 3 18-hour days to print this order. And there's photos of me just with my wrists strapped up and just agony.
Horrible.
And so, at this point, I'd been going for about 18 months properly. And then I was like, stuff this. And I called the bank, had like an hour and a half conversation with them. And the next day, the money was in the bank to buy a M&R Diamond back. And so,
nice.
Sort of went from there then.
If I'm right in remembering, was that an 8? Was that 6/8?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 6/8. Yeah, a little 6 colour. Bought it brand new for. What did I pay for it? I think it was like 18 or 20 grand at the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ironically, you couldn't buy it for that price now today. I know because I've looked. So I think it was before you got the MHM. So it must have been maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
That would have been in about 2014. That.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was up on Facebook Marketplace. And I got in touch about that press to buy it off you.
That was a different one. That was an old Gauntlet.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
You might be right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a different one. That was, because we basically, had a bit of a nightmare journey because at the time I was living in Manchester when this grew, and then in 2016 I moved back to Wales. We were about to have our fifth kid, or just had our fifth kid, and we thought, stuff it, we'll move back and live near the grandparents, get a bit of help, you know, and. But I'd not long before that invested in loads of equipment for digital print, you know, flyers, leaflets, banners, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then anyway, long story short, the whole point was I was meant to move into the local town centre, open this local print shop. Anyway, because of a load of stuff completely out of my control, we ended up just sitting on this 100 grand's worth of gear that we just invested in. All on drip, you know, not because I had the money in my pocket, and it was just doing nothing, because the building we were meant to move into, they kept finding more and more problems, structural issues and stuff, and I ended up having to move into an industrial estate. And anyway, long story short, the stuff was, I needed to get rid of the stuff. I needed to pay it off because it wasn't making any money, and the only way I could do that was to sell the stuff that I owned, which was all the screen printing stuff. And so that's what I did. I sold all the screen printing stuff, paid off all the debts, and closed that side of it down. Because I didn't want to just go bust and just, you know, pull out and just go, oh, stuff that. So I did that and went back to printing by hand for 18 months, which is absolutely killer. That was awful. Going from auto back to manual.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I could cope with that.
It was absolute agony, because by then we were already doing like 5-6 color prints, and do you know what I mean? And we were, you know, we were printing mostly plastisol back then, and so to go back to doing all that, it was horrible. Anyway, managed to clear off those debts and things, and you know, just keep going with this little cruiser I think I got, and then I eventually upgraded it to a sidewinder, and then. And then, I don't know, maybe another year or 18 months after that, then I just picked up an old 20-something-year-old gauntlet from Roper, installed it in the shop front in the middle of town. We had to take the shop front out and manhandle it. There was about, I don't know, 15 of us guys just lifted the whole thing up and straight in through the window. The base of it, not with the arms on.
Yeah.
And
This
then
is like your fourth press already.
So if we don't count the first tabletop, there was the Rotatex, then it was the Diamondback, then it was a Cruiser, then it was a Sidewinder, then it was the Gauntlet, then it was the MHM.
Unbelievable.
And now it's another MHM, and then we've got another MHM being installed in a couple of weeks as well.
So you'll have 2 presses in that tiny little place.
Yeah.
There'll be no room for you.
I know, people keep saying that, but I don't know. We'll figure something out. Look, I'll show you. It's total chaos here. We haven't recovered from last week. But
can you imagine living with Alex? It's just absolute total 110 mile an hour the whole time.
It is a bit mental, to be fair. My wife does well, so that's the
she
new.
Does. I don't know how you found time for 5 kids, if I'm honest.
I just bring them in to work, innit?
I don't think that's what he meant, but
yeah.
All right.
So the new MHM. So you've gone to quite a lot of colours there, haven't you?
Where's the new MHM going to go? Because hang on, just do that again.
I thought that was the new MHM.
There, obviously, look.
Where?
Oh.
There's that space that's got 4 boxes in it.
Loads of room, mate.
There's not loads of room there. What are you going to do? I'll just move this box of sweatshirts and put a press there.
I mean, I don't think you can knock the fuck it, let's just give it a go attitude. That's crazy.
Yeah, what?
You'll make it work,
the smallest press you can buy is a 6.8. So you putting a 6.8 there?
An 8.5. So we're actually only going with we're going no head in the flash station because
head 2.
Oh, yeah. So in head 2, like, you know, the last flash just stayed there for forever. We never took it out. So ever.
The price of the print assembly is about the same price as a flash, so you might as well just swap one for other. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually,
right.
we obviously, as you know, we sold the X type to Sarah. So she had that installed last week, but so she I gave her one of the flashes with that, and then I kept the other one because we had two. So we'll use the flash I kept on the new little S-Type. It's the S-Type Compact.
All right, okay.
Right,
So,
right,
Oh,
right.
so even an X-Type. It's an S-Type compact.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, stuff it. We just got a 1410 S-Type installed, so we can't.
Might as well stick to the S-Type.
Yeah, it's got to be uniform. You can't have two different presses. Like,
Go for bigger screens now.
So
no. I'm gonna stick with my 2333s we have.
Oh, you have them
they're the
special, don't
boys.
you?
They're the
Yeah,
boys. Oh,
yeah.
they're slightly different, aren't they?
Yeah,
Not quite
because
standard.
because the X Type and the S Type Compact they'll fit a 33-inch frame.
Right.
Because they touch
so-
at the back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Do I
that's
need to
right.
think about this?
When they
So-
come to the back, they all touch as the sort of like the piece of the pie, the point of the pie, if you like, around the circle. Because they've made it a
Oh,
smaller
I know what you
footprint,
mean now.
They
Right.
touch you get two side by side. They touch. That point is really close.
Oh, great.
So if you see with this one's the long stroke, and so
Right.
that's just an old 2331 that we use when we're printing bags, and we run the roller over the top because it helps pick up the lint before you print the things. But anyway, the point I'm making is that
At the
there's
back
loads.
there, you've got 8 inches there.
Oh yeah,
10
there's loads
inches, yeah.
loads of room there. Whereas the S-Type Compact, you've only got about 2 inches there if you're using a 2331. So by
God.
getting 2333s made, we can maximize. We can still get like a 20-inch print stroke. It's tight, but it's doable and it works. So
Do you print the other way as well? Do you start from the inside and print to the outside to get that extra little bit as well?
yeah, we print inside to outside, but we've pretty much always printed inside to outside because to me it makes sense because if you print from outside to inside, your squeegee's pushing against the cylinder. And so
And this
I'm
is
like-
what MHM said. You are printing the correct way, but
Yeah.
90% of printers print the other way, me included. Why do I print against that air ram? Because all of the machines before MHM's all printed that way.
yeah.
So for me, it's normal, and I like to see the screen clear. I want full access to what I can see as it prints. And I'm old and stubborn, and I'm not going to change now. But yeah, you are actually, Alex, printing the right way. You print against the solid immovable object. You don't print towards the movable RAM.
Yeah, it's and the thing is when I very first got it, I was printing the same way as I used to print with the M&R. And then one day it was really cold. There was cold plastisol on the screen. The flood bar went to move it, and the plastisol was so cold and hard
Didn't move.
that it moved the whole screen against the cylinder. And then of course,
Really?
when it released, it popped out, and then the screen, and the press went to turn, and the screen just flung out.
Whoa.
And so I was
bloody
like,
hell.
what the heck? I was like, why am I printing this way? It doesn't make sense. And then from then on, I always printed the other way, you know?
Yeah, you are actually printing the right way, but it's hard to get somebody to change, me included. It's hard for me to change. But to push the squeegee against an immovable object, you've got lots and lots of force. And you do see it on white plastisol, on cold mornings, on a hoodie job where you've got shitloads of pressure on there. And that's when I've only ever seen it once. It happened to me once on an install, and I did that whole speech I've just done there. And we set the print off to a sample, and it fucking pulled the screens clean out.
Jesus.
But the air pressure was low. The air pressure was only set to 4 bar. So that'll be why.
So there you go, Danny. When you get yours, you can do it right
I'll
from
be-
the beginning.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, absolutely. This is the beauty of Chippy Tea. I'm learning all the tips.
Well, if you think about it, going from a manual you pull, which is the correct and only way.
Yeah.
So you'll
Right.
just continue that movement, pulling it towards you. None of this pushing malarkey.
No.
I
That's
always
all right.
I always used to push, boys. Sorry.
Get out.
Push.
Get out. This one's over.
It's too hard. Pulling.
It is, isn't it? It's really difficult to pull. Like, it's proper stressful on your wrists and your shoulders and
Yeah,
arms.
it's flipping,
But-
especially if you're doing like 1,000 or something.
Yeah. I mean, I do it now.
It's just the
like,
end of it, yeah. It's just done 1,002 colour, haven't you?
Well, I pull now religiously. I kind of agree with Tony now. I think when we first got started, I'd do a mixture. And if it were getting real stressful and physically difficult, I'd say, fuck it, I'll just start pushing. But it depends on the print because I feel like you
Look
just
for me
lose that
watching
sharpness.
first. Tony's not
Basically, yeah.
watching. I'm going to push the fucker.
But I can't go back now. You just get a crispy print, I feel, anyway. So I'll keep
I
that
think
up.
so too.
So you know how you're saying you get a 5, 8,
Yep.
and you've took. I'm a little bit lost by that. You've took this. You've took the head out. So I'm guessing you're wheeling a flash in place.
No.
No,
So
you still get the frame. You keep the frame. You just don't put the print assembly in there.
Yeah.
That's right. So you're gonna have a flashing head too, or colour too.
Yeah.
So it'll be the same as.
Right.
So this new one is a 1410. So it's 10
Right.
colour, but it's got, there you go, see the flash? There's
See
no
there,
print
look.
head.
No print
I
head. It's
see.
just a frame.
Oh, I see. Right, now
But
I'm with
next
you.
to it, you've got one with a print head, you see? So we've got one
right.
here, and then we've got another one the same over the other side. So it means that we can use all 10 colours without having to put a flash in it. But we do have, I bought another flash as well, so that we have a third flash come in.
Yeah.
Just so that we can, well, mainly, my main reason for it is because I want to start running virus water-based ink, and I need the extra flash, so
Right.
to run their little CMYK system.
Yeah, that's process inks.
Yeah, yeah, but it's very,
So
very good process inks.
yeah, so I feel like you sort of stumbled on something that not too many people are using at the moment, and I believe they even sep it for you, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they'll do the steps for you. So basically, you just send it to them. They send back 2 underbases, CMYK, plus spot colours if you need them. But it's honestly like the reds are super bright, the green, like just the colours are really good for CMYK. It's unbelievable. So my plan is to hopefully, because the problem is you need plenty of heat in your pallets, and the MHM comes with honeycomb with no rubber top, so it's designed to dissipate heat, right, Tony? So
Right.
Yeah.
so it's very hard to keep enough heat in them for the virus ink to work the way it's supposed to work. So
Right.
whereas guys who are running them on M&Rs and whatnot, they can generally, if they've got their pallets up, they can generally print fairly quickly and still have that instant touch dry. But it's really difficult with the MHM. So I was like, well, we'll get the bigger press, we'll add one more flash so we can go base flash cool,
Right.
yellow, magenta, flash cool, cyan, black. And so that will use up all of the 12 stations.
Wow.
And what it will give us is consistency and repeatability. So it means that probably 80% of our sim process work, we can do that without having to mix any inks. And
no
That's
seps.
awesome.
yeah, and no seps. They're just done and they're sent over. And the thing is my problem is I'm so involved in the process that it's impossible for me to have any time off.
Yeah.
And now we're getting this new press. I'm taking on somebody, just agreed to take on somebody full time who's going to start with me in November. And so they're going to run the small press. I'm going to teach them how to do all the bag work, all the 1-2 color stuff. And then
From
Kev,
scratch, or have they got experience?
from scratch.
Good.
Yeah, from scratch.
Awesome.
And then Kev, who's already with me, been with me for 2 years, he can confidently set up 5, 6, 7 colors now. And so he'll then begin to run the virus stuff. I say run the virus stuff. I'm hoping it's going to work with that extra flash in there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've just had a load of 120 mesh delivered, ready to go, because you print all the virus stuff on 120.
Wow.
So you print your first underbase on a 120 mesh, then you flash it, and then you
Really?
print your second underbase on a 62, and then your top colors then all on 120. So
That's really cool.
yeah, so I'm really excited to start using it because honestly, virus are so good at separations. They're really, really good at reproducing the stuff. But you don't only have to print CMYK. We also have the wet and wet clear and all the pigments. So if we want to do spot colors instead or solid vector work, we can do it all now. With a big enough press. And then the small press means that we no longer have to be wasting all of our. Do you know what I mean? All of our, the big press basically on stuff that can be done on the small press. And we do so many bags like this that
Right, yeah.
it's just a waste. Why would you have that on a 14 station? You know, it's mental. So having a little
How
one.
come you think you're getting more bag work, Alex? How do you think you're getting more bag work? Because notoriously in England, there are bag printers that are racing to print a huge amount of bags for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So how come you think you see a big increase in bag work?
So the majority of our bag work comes through one client that we have who we have a contract with them, literally a signed legit contract. It's not like contract work as in it's an actual contract. And we're contracted to print for these guys on a same next day, 3-day and a 5-day turnaround.
Wow.
So that's why we get it all, because the orders come in at 8 o'clock. Yeah. So they come in at 8 o'clock in the morning and we ship them out by 4 o'clock that afternoon, basically.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus. Do you not ever just think, shit, what if Rallywise don't turn up with garments? Or, do you know what I mean?
Well, the bags we keep in stock.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so
Good
the
shout.
bags we keep in stock, and then clothes. We don't really do any same day clothing jobs for them. It's mainly just the bags. But we're just so used to it now. You know, with the automation, we're just so. You know, if a job comes in now from them, it's classed as a same day then, because it's end of day now. So they will pay the same day rate, which is I think we get 20% more for a same day. We get 15% more for a next day. And then you've got the standard price for 3-day turnaround, and then you've got minus 15% for a 5-day turnaround. So they get it cheaper if they opt for the longer turnaround.
That's clever. I like that.
It's a good way to do it. You have to have a niche. You have to have something. This is your sizzle, if you like, on the sausage. This is your little bit extra, and you have to sell that, because they can get a printed bag from anywhere. So why use Alex? Why use Supreme Screen? You know, is the quality any better? It's probably the same as some of the other bag printers, but the turnaround time. I do actually know one other printer that has a 24-hour turnaround, but they do it on hard stock, so pens, rulers, coasters, and things like that.
Yeah.
And they've just started printing bags, and they can't understand why they can't offer the same reaction. So they've been for years doing same-day 24-hour turnaround on 3,000 pens. No problem. They eat it all day long. They bought a bag machine, a little rock, put it in the corner and gone, well, surely it's just printed. We can just do a 24-hour turnaround on that. And they're failing. And they can't understand why they're failing. Like, it's not quite the same as a hard subject to print onto. We're printing onto a bag that changes all the time. You have a little bit more about you, especially if it's multiple colour.
Yeah. Definitely, it's. I'd say, I mean, for us, we're just used to it now. We do so much rush work. Danny, you know it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I know, yeah.
Like we're just, it's. I don't know. We're so used to it that we come in the morning. Like tomorrow, we've got piles of stuff that's sitting there ready to go that we have to get out tomorrow, and we know that on top of that, we'll probably get at least one same day order that comes in tomorrow morning that we've still got to squeeze in around that. You know.
Do you get stressed, Alex?
Yeah, but not because not because of the rush, but more. It's more like because with this particular client, like it's already there. It's in my mind. It's always in the back of my mind that something could come in from these guys. Sorry, my phone's pinging here. Can you hear that? Oh, you can't hear.
No, it's all right.
All right, cool. It's John Potter trying to sell me something else. It is.
Tell you you've got no more room.
It's popping up. It's popping up. It's like, go away, John. I spend enough money with you. Anyway, yeah. So with this particular client, I already know that it's in the back of my mind. Where I get stressed is when some of the other clients will they'll call and for example today, right? So we put out I think 3 rush job bag orders today on top of our normal work, and then we did that t-shirt job I just showed you earlier, which was what did I say? 6 colour front, 3 colour back.
Yeah.
Reebok, yeah.
So that was confirmed yesterday. And
Really?
so
They left
the,
it that late?
yeah, that was confirmed yesterday. So I ordered the blanks. The blanks arrived this morning. I made the screens this morning. We mixed all the inks this morning. And so we got that in on top of that. But then, not only that, on top of that, one of our other clients sent us a job, which gave us a couple of days to turn it around, which was easy. But something happened with their order and their garments didn't get here. So their garments didn't arrive until 10:30 this morning, and they had a same-day courier collecting it at 2 p.m. So around all of that I just told you, we still had to chuck another 150 odd garments, front and back print, base, under base and top colour, front and back, and be ready for the guy to collect at 2 o'clock and drive it to London tonight.
Wow.
No way. I will be straight up honest with you. If I were in your shoes right now, the place would crumble. It would burn to ground because I couldn't cope with that stress. I mean, I've had a month of deadlines. I don't usually have deadlines. I have quite standard turnarounds, a couple a week, which is usually fairly comfy. But orders have increased, and a lot of them have had really strict deadlines. And about a month of it, and it's getting to me, and I'm making mistakes now. Like I explained earlier on, like I keep fucking up and doing tiny little silly things just because I've got that much running through my head, and I'm back and forth trying to fit everything in.
Yeah.
But you're doing it at like 10 times the extreme level. I honest to God
He's still not in the dryer
because
while he's on here, for Christ's sake.
exactly.
Yeah, but
You're a
do you know
machine,
what?
mate. Absolute machine.
The thing is, though, it's because there's only two of us here, so it's just me and Kev.
It's outrageous.
And
must be one of the most slickest operations. I
Well,
reckon you must agree, Tony, because that's slick.
Actually, no, I'm going to say it, when you're rushing like that, it can be inefficient because you're trying to do too many things and split yourself over two different tasks, where it would have actually been more efficient, which is slick, to move that task onto someone else and get someone else in. So I see what you mean. It's hard working, but is it efficient? No, because, is Alex's time better spent doing seps, mixing colours, stood at the end of a dryer, or is it better spent, getting the customers in, getting the organisation, and moving some stuff around? Because you could say that the pair of arms and legs that's on the end of that dryer now is wasted, really.
yeah, I think the difficulty is with our situation is, you are.
It's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? It's a gamble setting somebody on, and then in 3 weeks' time not having out to do, and you've still got to pay them. What do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
know exactly what you
the
mean.
thing is like, because we had quite a quiet winter for a long time. I did have a guy doing screens. I had to let him go, which was super tough to do. It was really, really hard.
It's horrible, isn't it?
And yeah, it is. It's horrible. But it's like it comes a point where you're like, well, I'm paying him, overpaying myself, and if I can't pay myself, then I can't run the business. I think it was just, I think it was quite an unfortunate time because we come off the back of the pandemic, and then there's all the media hype about recession, all that kind of stuff, and just nobody was spending any money, and it just winter just dragged on for what felt like forever, but yeah, it is. So I kind of came out of that after I let him go. I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna crack on with just the two of us, and try and take a decent income for myself, because I've always reinvested up until now. Like, this is the first year I'll have ever taken dividends from this business, and I've been doing it for 11 years.
Yeah, but look around. I mean, for someone that's only a 2-man operation, you've got. What have you got? Automatic. What have you automated?
We've got auto reclaim.
Reclaim. Just hold it. Reclaim. That's a big lump of money for a reclaim unit, which is basically against a guy that can just wash screens. What else have you got?
Auto coater.
Again, you're looking at 15 grand. Did you buy all these new? I don't know whether you bought these new or not.
Yeah, reclaim bought brand new. Which is, I don't know, I think it was 50, 60 grand, something like that.
It's a big lump. Big lump.
Coater was,
it's about 15, 20 grand, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We bought that new. Just bought it outright because I didn't want to finance that. and then
Developer.
Yeah, we've got auto developer. Picked that up used actually from Roper. He was getting rid of it, and I think I had the sign winder and a few bits, so I did a little deal with him. He took
I
that
think you've
stuff.
got a deal there. I think you've got a good deal there with that.
Yeah, mate.
Because an auto developer is sort of like it's low down on the list, but now you've got one. Do you see the value of it?
Oh yeah, I'd never go back. Because
It's hard to describe that to someone who is usually a dip tank and a jet wash, thinks they can do it all, but it's not what it does. It's the unattendedness for me.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah. It's all about dialing it in and pressing a button and walking away, and like we don't even look at the screens when we pull it out. We literally don't even look at the screens.
That's
like,
completely normal.
Yeah, and it's just
You could take someone just grab them from Cracker Deli outside and go, right, okay, I want you to develop my screens. Put them into here, press that button, take them out of there, press that button, take them out of there, press that button, and then they're done. And you know you don't have to inspect them because you know your time's right. You know your spider's always going to print perfectly, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, definitely.
And you know that your exposures are good. You stick it in the developer, and it's the same pressure, same distance, same time, every time. So there's no reason at all, don't care how complex the design is, there's no reason it won't wash out. Because your dots are the same size, you've dialed everything in, it should be perfect.
Yeah, it is like when I look back, I'm like, it's worth being on a small wage for all those years to have it all where it's at now, because with only two of us there, I can go upstairs, I can coat screens, I can make screens, I can expose screens, develop screens, and reclaim screens all at the same time, just me on my own. And,
that's outrageous.
And so and you can be doing what 20, 30 an hour of everything in one go.
Yeah.
So
how long do you think you spend in the screen room every day?
Oh, like hour maybe.
What sort of how many screens do you think you're turning around?
About
a day?
Yeah, about at the moment about 30 a day. So
wow.
So yeah, we literally but another thing that we do is because we don't keep our screens, we wash them straight away. So when we pull them off press, we'll walk upstairs to the mez, we'll blast them out with water, the water-based screens, we'll blast them off, and we'll chuck them in the reclaim and walk downstairs and work on the next job. And then the reclaim is reclaiming screens whilst we're printing the next job. And then when you come upstairs to bring the next screen up, you grab it out, give it a quick dehaze, blast it down, chuck it in the screen room. So even when you're doing everything upstairs at the same time,
machines cleaning screens.
Yeah. And but even if you don't, even if you're all you do, for example, I might be doing my quoting. I always post it, quoting and quoting, at the same time. So I'm quoting screens whilst I'm doing my quoting, And I think, like it is all about automating as much as possible to maximize, your time really.
Your time, yeah.
And
do you think you could train someone else to do all that
in the screen room?
Yeah,
in like a day maximum. It's honestly, with the automation, don't get me wrong, like it took probably 6 to 9 months of painstaking work just getting everything dialed in. But now that it's dialed, it's literally, I could take a new starter and say, right, this is how you coat screens, 10 minutes, press this button for this, look at the screen, see what number's on the end of it. So we've got these little aluminium stickers that we stick on the end of the screens, and we say, right, whatever the screen is, you press this button to coat it correctly, you press this button to expose it correctly, because it's all named the same. So it's actually really straightforward, my sons, my two oldest sons, 12 and 14, they're both on payroll here. They come in, they clean all my screens for me. They know how to pull off and catch, and how to clean squeegees, and all that stuff. So it's actually really straightforward now that all that stuff is done. And when I stand here and I say it out loud, I'm like, why am I being such an idiot and not getting people? But I don't know. I think part of why we're so flexible and fast is because there's only two of us. Or that's why we're so flexible. Rather, is because there's only two of us. The downside of that is that it's all in here in my head. so it relies on me heavily, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
days like today, I got a full-on man flu, boys. I'm dying here, but you know, I have to be here because it's all in my head. So you know, like dealing with customers or little things like, oh, a customer's changed an address, you know, but you haven't got time to change that on the system. But it doesn't matter because
Nah.
it's in my head because I know that I'm going to be the one booking the shipping, you know. But
So when you go
Yeah,
on
yeah.
when you go on holiday, do you have like a brain dump and just write it all down on a big whiteboard,
no, I
or
usually
do you just not
Just don't go on
go?
holiday.
yeah, most of the time I just don't go. But to be fair, I did go on holiday this year, and I am trying to do some of that stuff. Like Kev is really capable of running every part of the business, as in like all the coating, the making screens, the printing, the shipping, all that kind of stuff. But I've never taught him any of the admin or the separation side of it. Like basic one color separations for bags and stuff he can do. Um, but yeah, the difficulty is it's like I don't know, like I suppose it's just a lot to put into place, isn't it? To trust other people to follow
It
your
is.
Yeah,
systems.
yeah,
Number
yeah.
one, it's trust, and number two, it's quite difficult to put into words or to practice what's in your head. You know how to do it, but then getting that out into a process that someone else can follow is actually not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, yeah,
Because there's a
100%.
load of stuff you do without thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because you
The
just
hardest
know it.
part, the hardest part is building the systems for people to follow. And the systems you have to build, you have to get out of your head, put systems in place, step by step, check boxes that somebody else has to follow to replicate what you have in your head, which you just pull out your ass like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
I dabbled with. I had a girl doing all my admin for over a year, maybe 2 years, and it was fantastic. It took over, but the transition phase of me not being involved in every decision and knowing what all the customers are asking and where's stuff going, etc. It's really difficult to transition into that phase. I guess it's a trust thing because up until that point, literally every detail of this shop is just a thought in my head.
In your head.
And maybe that's the same way you work. You must be basically Rain Man to run that shop like that.
It's counting
But at
cards.
some point,
He's counting bags now while he's talking.
yeah. I bet if I asked you, you say, "Oh, yeah, 363 there." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So is there a time sap that you at some point are thinking, right, I'm going to pass this on. I'm going to take this out of my head, free up a bit of space for me to go do something I enjoy a little bit more, and let someone take over.
Yeah,
And what is it?
that like for me, yeah, that's I don't want to do this forever. I don't want to retire
You
a
can't.
screen printer.
You can't
Yeah,
do it forever.
I
It'll kill you.
curse.
Yeah, and it's like
You ought to be going and being a consultant. I can see where this is going. There's enough of us about now.
yeah, no, thank you, mate. I think once I'm done this, that'll be me done with this industry. You know, like I'll be
Well,
on
you
to
are doing other stuff, though, aren't you?
yeah. So yeah, I'm in the middle of opening a pizzeria at the moment. So
Because t-shirts and pizza go so well together.
And plus, you've got all that free time.
Why? I have to ask some really basic questions. Why the fuck pizzas? And where do you find the time?
well, during lockdown, I landscaped my garden because
Gardening pizzas. It's going well. I'm with you so far.
I'm lost
I follow.
yeah. So obviously we shut shop for like 2 or 3 months or whatever it was, and so I was like, so I thought to myself, oh, do you know what I'll do? I'll do a bit of songwriting and stuff because I miss playing music and I never play anymore. So I did that for about 3 days. I wrote a song and then I was like, right, okay, I'm done now. I'm happy. I've had my fix. I need to do something else. So I hired a digger and had it delivered.
As you do.
Yeah, and then and I basically turned my garden upside down, just turned it into a big field of mud, and started landscaping. And then I built an outdoor kitchen with like concrete worktops and put in a pizza oven, wood-fired pizza oven and stuff. And then, of course, we started cooking pizza for people. And like
We.
I love it.
You say we. Is it you or is it you and your partner or what?
Yeah, Me. So although
One
she
expected,
she happily sat there and ate them all. But yeah, and so I started doing that, like with the kids as well, getting them involved, and they really loved it. And then, don't know, I kind of like I always one thing I've always wanted to do later on in life is own a restaurant.
How interesting.
And
for
but
a little less stress.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, talk about jumping into the frying pan. Jesus.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, with the idea of having a restaurant was always like, well, it'll have to be when the kids grow up because you have to be out in evenings, all that kind of stuff. And then I got to thinking, I was like, well, it doesn't have to be an eat-in restaurant. It could be a takeaway pizzeria. And so I started coming up with the ideas, working with my kids on kind of the branding and the logo, all that kind of stuff, and they got really excited about it. And then I went to look at a building in town, and I signed the lease like a week later. So
I'm starting to get a picture that you've got how can I phrase this? Fuck it, let's just go for it.
yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
That's very commendable.
Yeah, we just sort of stuff it. And the thing is, I didn't want to do something that pulled me away from the family more, because I love raising my kids.
Bringing you closer.
Like, yeah. And so I was like, stuff it. It can be something that we do together. Why do I have to wait till they're grown up to do it? They're especially my sons who are, I say 12 and 14. They're really into the idea of business and all that kind of stuff, and they want to learn all that sort of stuff. So I was like, let's just give it a shot. Anyway, so I did that, and then I ordered this custom built oven that was built over in Brazil. It took 7 months to ship over. So
I thought that were a carousel. I thought it was a heat press. I thought it might be a reclaim unit. I thought it was a squeegee washer. What a bastard getting us to guess that. What did it turn out to be? A bastard pizza oven?
Yeah,
mate. Somebody did get it, didn't they? One person got it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked.
Yeah. Guy called Joe from JSA Print. You ever heard of those guys?
I don't think so.
They're based up in Manchester. For a joke, he went, it's a pizza oven. And I went, yeah. And he was like, no, it's not.
I was just trying to think of the most random thing it could be.
So yeah, man, it's a massive oven. Oh goodness me, man! It weighs 3 tons. I had it delivered to the print shop because it's in the town centre, and I wasn't able to get the oven into the shop because it's so big. It's like 2 meters wide, 2.5 meters high.
Whoa.
It's solid, 3 tons. And so anyway, the other night, I don't know if anybody saw my Instagram, but
I watched it.
Did you?
I stayed up. I watched it live.
it was mental. So we had because I sold this press to Sarah, and then I had this press coming from London. A friend of mine runs a little haulage company, so I hired him to go and pick the S-type up from the Dimension guys and bring that to me. And then, so I told him basically drive down here, drop off the trailer on the Monday night, and then just go home. And so he left the trailer next day so we could unload it at our leisure and then load it back up with the press going to Sarah. And then I said to him, once you've done that, if you can get hold of a low loader trailer so we can put the oven on it and then drive the forklift up, because I hired this big 5-ton forklift because obviously a smaller one wouldn't even lift the oven. So he did all that. He had all the stuff delivered. Got one of his other drivers to deliver up to Sarah, and then so then he came along with this low loader. We put the oven on. I was bricking myself because I picked it up with a forklift and then raising it high off the ground, and the whole thing is just going like this because it's so heavy, and it's top heavy, isn't it? Because it's all flipping with factory brick and stuff, Anyway, so we get it on there, and then we put the ramp down, and we couldn't get the forklift up on the lorry because it was too wet. It just kept slipping. So we're trying to get this forklift up, and it's slipping, and it's moving side to side. And I was like, boys, we can't do this. If it goes over a 5-ton forklift with one of us in it, and it's hired, we're in big trouble. So I was like, crap, what are we gonna do? So I was like, all right, well, we'll just drive it into town.
On the forklift.
Yeah.
No way.
No. We left the oven on the lorry, but we drove the
Oh.
forklift into town. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but the problem is, the police station is next. If you open our back door, it opens onto the police station. It literally opens onto the police station, and then just around the corner is the South Wales Police headquarters, right?
Oh, jeez.
So at this point, it was like, because we met at 11 p.m. and by this point it's like, I think it was like nearly 2 a.m. or something, or
It
1
was
a.m.
real late. I've never
was,
seen
yeah,
it, yeah.
it was proper late. And then so I was like, right, boys, what we'll do, we'll drive the lorry really slow with the hazards on. I'll drive the forklift directly behind the lorry, and then the guys can drive behind with the hazards on. I was like, literally, this is the safest possible way we can do this, you know? So
Yeah, fair.
so we start driving and realize the forklift's limited to 7 miles an hour.
Oh, dear.
So we pass not one police station, but 2 police stations. And then we get it in.
Quietly.
Yeah. and I flipping hazards flashing, and do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it wasn't exactly subtle. Anyway, we managed to get it done, but we had to pull the shop front off, and then we had to drive the forklift up over the curb, and that was just and then we put it down on the tiles, and all the tiles just went just from the weight. We were like, oh, flipping heck. So anyway, that's my pizza oven story. So it's currently sitting in the shop front, and today they're putting the glass on for the new all the new framework, and there is no way that pizza oven's coming back out. Not a chance.
When's the pizza shop opening then? How long have you got for that?
It was supposed to open in April, but here we are in like what we know, end of September. So yeah. I don't know. We're hoping to open it in December. One of the things that I've learned actually through running the screen printing business was how difficult and lonely the journey is when you own the business on your own.
Yeah, right? That is such a thing.
The 2 biggest things that I've learned is, number 1, automation. Number 2, don't go it alone. So I brought on a business partner for the pizza oven, for the pizza journey. Also I'm going to hit automation from day one. In
the pizza place.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So, all the processes, from everything from the making of the dough to even the pressing of the pizza base. We found this special. It's not like a heat press type thing. It's got like these special rollers, so it actually it creates the base in the same way you would with by hand. So, because I don't want to go through that whole process of trying to teach somebody to become this amazing pizza yolo and then they just leave. So I want to be able to, because I want to open multiple locations all across South Wales and eventually into the rest of the UK. That's the plan. And so, Do
you ever sleep?
Wow.
I'm knackered just listening to you.
Honestly. I don't think I said a word this entire episode. My head's just gone. I'm coming to Wales to drink some of that water, because whatever's in it, unbelievable.
Come on down, mate. Come on down. It's Huel, it is. Mate, it's the Huel. I love the Huel. That's what keeps me going. Huel back.
That's because you've not got time to eat actual food, that's why.
That's it.
Other than pizza and
to
Huel,
drink it. Well, that's an unbelievable story, to be honest. Absolutely crazy. I probably won't believe you, but I saw it happening on Instagram stories at the time. So, can I hit you with, since we're talking about pizza, I've developed a little quiz for you. I thought, I'm going to ask you a quiz. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. So the first one is a true or false. A pizza was delivered to an astronaut while he or she was in orbit. True or false?
True.
It was. It was delivered by Pizza Hut. I don't entirely know how they got it there. I guess some sort of rocket or something.
Mental.
Which month? That's hard to believe, isn't it? Which month is officially considered to be National Pizza Month? Now, it's multiple choice. I'll give you 4. February. So you've not done your research, then, before setting up this business?
No.
February, July, October, or December?
Oh, October.
Oh, close. December.
Oh!
So, here's the thing.
Christmas
if you just time the opening, delay the opening until 1st of December, and then you can like play it as off. Oh, we're opening on National Pizza Month. Boom.
Yes,
Nailed
that's
it for you.
genius. That's interesting.
The classic Hawaiian pizza features tomato sauce, cheese, ham, and pineapple. But where was this style of pizza invented? Was it Canada, Chicago, Hawaii, or New York? That's a tricky one.
I want to say Chicago, but I'm going to say Hawaii.
Oh, it's Canada.
No way! Is it actually?
It was, yeah. It's like a Canadian favourite, apparently.
Mate, I should have done my research. Like,
Well, this is what I'm saying. Surely the old business plan hasn't been as thought out as well as you thought.
Destined.
Last one. What is the most popular pizza topping in India?
in
Try not to be
India.
racist. Try not to be racist. Chickpeas, pickles, rice, or tofu?
Chickpeas.
Tofu?
Yes! What a guy. What a guy.
Danny, the real question, to be honest, is pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Well, normally I'd be all about the no, but
No.
but get this right. I made some hot dogs a couple of months back in the garden. I was like, I'm going to make gourmet hot dogs, right? And normally,
Right.
whenever I do burgers or hot dogs or whatever in the garden, I'm all about like buy all legit steak from the butcher. Like I grind the mince myself, create everything from scratch, right? But I was like, I want to make these gourmet hot dogs, but I want to make them with the cheap jar hot dogs that you buy that are like £2.50 whatever in that crappy juice stuff. Anyway, so I made these killer hot dogs, right? And what I did was I chucked the sausages, cooked them on the stove as normal, and then took them out and grilled them just to get that kind of sort of crispy edge. But what I did was I took some smoked bacon, chopped it up into tiny little pieces, and then I sliced some fresh pineapple and grilled the pineapple, right? And then what I did was I chopped up the pineapple, chucked it in with the bacon, added a bit of, I think it was maple, and then I fried it up, and then I took the obviously brioche hot dog buns, really fancy,
Obviously.
Put a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of teriyaki sauce along the bottom, then the hot dog, and then the bacon and pineapple. Mate, and
Pineapple.
so now
We need a name for that. That's like a supreme dog.
a supreme dog, mate.
Supreme dog.
But now it tasted so good that I'm toying with the idea of creating a pizza based around
hot
it.
dog. A hot dog business.
Hot dog business,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, mate. So there you go.
Pineapple it is. Pineapple it is.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a story.
Yeah, mate. Do you want to have a look around?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. So we spun the dryer last week. Because the dryer...
That didn't quite work for you, did it?
Well,
Has it ended up back at the same place?
Yeah, it's in the same place. We moved it like a couple of meters down because the press obviously takes up a lot more room. We had to move it further down. But the problem was when we obviously we put this mezzanine in like a couple of months back, and the computer was opening right into the steel. So I was like, oh, that's no good. So we spun it round. We stuck it on some skates and spun it. That's it. The place is total chaos right now. But what we're in the middle of doing at the moment is working on our ink room. So we started cataloguing our ink properly.
Oh, cool.
There's crappy light in here at the moment, so I need to put some decent, because this used to be our screen room, you see.
Yeah.
So, are you going to get an ink dispenser then on your theme of automation?
I do want one. I hate mixing it.
Have you seen the little water-based one?
Matrix do one, don't we? For Magna.
Yeah, the little Magna one.
It's like a Dulux thing. You just
all it does is
your
dispense the pigments. You sort the bases out yourself, so it's actually tabletop size. It's right small.
It's expensive.
No.
Ooh.
I'll do you a deal.
Send me some info, because I hate dispensing pigment.
It's only for water-based. It's not for your plastisol.
Well, that's what we do mostly anyway, water-based. So it would definitely
Do you
save
do
us.
any plastisol?
Yeah, all of this behind me is plastisol.
All right.
We don't keep our water-based sinks. We literally just mix just enough, and then if there's a little bit left over, we chuck it all in a big can, and then we add some black pigment to it, and then we use it for like cheap black ink
Oh, that's a good idea.
for bag work. We wouldn't use it on clothes and stuff, but for bag work it's fine. So we're
Makes
trying
a good smoke as well.
Yeah. So we're trying to catalog everything. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got if it's Pantone 102, it'll be down the one, on the 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4 section, and then on each shelf, then you've got if it's 2 to 3. So if it's 1, 2 something or 1, 3 something, it'll be on this shelf, and So we're trying to make sense
really
of
organised.
that. Just been spending some time doing all my labels.
Yeah. Awesome.
So even drew nice little black lines, look, so that the guys
Oh, wow.
don't get confused. So they put it in exactly the right place.
The guys, it's only you and Kev.
Yeah, the guys. the guy. No S.
But I know that I always put things back where they belong, you see. No, I don't actually. Do you know what? I never know where anything is. I'm always like, Kev, do you know where this is? And instantly you'll tell me, yeah, it's over there under this. And he's great. He knows all that stuff. So
Perfect team.
it's just total mess here at the moment because
Whoa, chaos.
Yeah,
That's where your press is going.
It is absolute chaos. Look, everything is everywhere. So we got the pre-runner.
Have you sold that yet?
No.
You're trying to get rid of it, aren't you?
I'm desperate to get rid of it. So somebody please buy it because it's just taking up
If you're
space.
listening.
Look, it's just a shelf for our microwave right now.
What does the pre-runner do? Is that the stuff that glues inside shirts?
No, it's a one-color auto.
Oh.
Oh, right, okay.
The M&R.
Yeah, it's a little
Right,
one-color
okay,
auto. Yeah, so it's literally just holding up all our fancy prints that we show off, the show-off prints, and then it's holding our microwave. So that's a pull-up bar.
Why not?
Because why not? Yeah.
Do you have many people come to visit? Like, do many turn up?
Can't fit in, Danny.
Football. I mean, I don't mean invited. I mean uninvited.
Nah, people don't really come to visit. Nobody wants to travel all the way to Wales. Most of the people we print
He
for.
hasn't even got any signage outside. He's like you, Danny.
Yeah, no signs. So then nobody knows. This is all the virus stuff.
Yeah.
This is amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Absolutely love it. I can't wait. Because I keep talking about it, and I swear all the printers must just go, this guy's just making this stuff up. So I need to start putting out
you don't see it used often.
Good.
I'll come down. I'll come down when you've got it nailed, and I'll do a feature on it.
Yeah.
I've tried it, and I don't like it, and you've tried to convince me, and I don't believe you. So I'll come down, and you can prove it. You can shove it down my throat and say, "Look, I told you it works."
I will. This is new air, waiting for the new press, sitting there. Toolbox, boring stuff. But
let's say upstairs. Now, last time I came to you, there were no steps upstairs. I hope you put some steps in.
Oh, for that one? No, look, I've still got a ladder for
that. Who did you keep shoving? Lucy? Your sister?
Yeah.
You kept shoving her up there, didn't you? She was like, I don't want to go up there. To do your steps.
Yeah. That's it.
Got to make most of space.
I don't go up there anymore because it's just too much effort. It's just got all my music gear.
Skidavites.
All my fancy new rack spice.
Look at them. We know where they're from. They're from Mr. Collins, aren't
they?
Mr. Collins.
Yeah, Lee. So
Lee Collins makes them racks that go on wall. Really good.
Yeah, they're lovely. They're really, really good. So
do you have a set for each durometer?
Not yet, but actually, so I've got stuff. Look, it holds everything at the moment. The iron, a couple of rollers, double squeegee. That was the worst thing ever designed, wasn't it? But I have just literally, we go. Some squeegee. So we got some 65, 90, 65, Tony. Me and Kev did a session with Tony last week before. I was like, let's just do a session and have some sense put our way. 75, 90, 75. And Tony, so I got these from Pyramid, but they don't do a 55. So
Brother?
A friend of mine who's a printer over in, is it Belgium or something? Anyway, he's got his supplier to send me a roll of 55. So we'll have 55, 65 and 75, all triple duro.
Good.
And then, the plan will be to separate them. We've got plenty of racks. There's 5 racks on here. And then I've got another rack that's going to go over the other side when the new press comes. Because the other press, the small press, is only going to do bag work. Or one or two colour stuff. So it's only going to need a few squeegees over there. And then the ones the right size for the bags. Everything's winged. Because obviously we do mostly water-based. So it's still a pain in the ass, to be honest, even with winged flood bars. But, it does work. And then this is the new press from Dimension Boys, who are just having their new rock installed this week. Looks like a beast. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it might be too big to fit.
Yeah.
It's flipping massive thing. Looks well impressive.
Whoa.
I'll sink.
The
So
whole
this
thing
is
gets washed up in there.
this is
That's just literally for squeegees.
yeah, squeegee. So it's right close to the press. So
Squeegee, what's it next?
yeah, I have thought about it, but I don't know. But the new press is going to go there.
Sell some pizzas first.
I know. Sell some pizzas and then use that to fund my screen
Squeegee
printing
washes.
equipment obsession.
Yeah.
But see, there's plenty of room here. If I move all of this out of the way,
And where's all that going to go?
Shh,
I have a shipping container.
don't spoil
Not
it for me.
supposed to chuck
I
a
don't know where it's going
container
to go.
back?
Yeah, I should. Should actually. So, screens that are ready to go here at the bottom of the stairs. See, there's the stairs to the screen room. So when they're re-exposing tape, they come down here and they're ready to go. Beginning of the day.
So how come I never see anybody using tapeless edges? Because I started using them and I absolutely love it. But I found a lot of shops, even the bigger boys like yourself, maybe tried it and then decided they don't like it. Is it just splashback? Is that the thing?
Do you mean that the glue coming further into the screen? Is it?
Yeah. So you don't have to put tape on edges.
What scares me about that is number one, the splashback. So because we print mostly water-based and we want to come straight upstairs and blast the water out, and just the idea of that splashing back in your
Getting
face,
everywhere.
it's just just going everywhere. It's just a bit of a nightmare. But also, like, what makes me nervous is putting the auto coater on, and then the edge where the glue finishes. It's quite rough, isn't it? So the idea of your coater running over the top of that edge and having to guarantee that you've got a real nice smooth coat. Do you know what I mean? Because I've gone to
you don't
all
want running over bumps.
Yeah. So I've spent 16 whatever is grand on this flipping coater to get banging coating, and then you go and rub it over a rough edge of glue. I don't like the idea of that. So, I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe I just need to try it. But I don't know. I think, do you know what it is? It's like we spent so long over this last year dialing everything in that we
don't want to upset anything.
Yeah, we've just got such a sweet setup now that I'm like, it works, And the other thing as well, we find with water-based, if you don't have tape underneath, it breaks through the emulsion on the edges anyway. So
yeah, that's fair.
And I mean, even when we were using Triton before, which is super strong, really, really strong, it holds up really well. But even that would break on the edges where the squeegee was, So, whereas,
Do you round your corners?
Yeah, with rounding corners as well. So I'm like, and we're not using high pressure. We try to use as little pressure as possible. But it just, I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, the thing is we re-expose all of our screens anyway, right? So we expose our screens at 70 seconds. And so that gives you 70 seconds to tape up your screen. So what you're going to do anyway, you're just going to stand there waiting. So you might as well tape your screen up, and it works. But I mean, if we're doing bag work, we don't actually tape the edges. We only tape 2 lines down.
You've only got a small screen,
small
squeegee.
Yeah, that's it. So we only take where the edges of squeegee is anyway, which is what 320 mil, 32 centimeters, something like that. So so it works really. So
awesome.
this is upstairs. This is developer.
What's the size of that mezzanine? Do you know how many feet by how many feet, or how many meters by how many meters?
It is 7.5 meters by 7.5 meters. So
So that's all you need to make a perfect preparation area. 7.5 meters by 7.5 meters. You've got a
because you look like you've got plenty of space.
a developer, a reclaim, an imager, and everything by 7.5 by 7.5.
Well, let me show you how well tuned it is, right? So I was planning this. So we built it, put the walls up. Let me show you how close the edge of the reclaim is to the wall. Can you see that?
Flipping hell. Will that even fit that little plastic thing?
Can you see?
That's it.
That's
we
my
can see
finger, right? So that's
Whoa.
one side. Let me take you over to the other side. Let's have a look.
It's a three chamber you've got, isn't it?
There we go. That's the other side.
So you got fingers width either side.
Yeah.
That's an efficient use of space, is that?
That is,
really
that is.
You've nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
So when we come up here, so after the end of every job, right? So we'll come up the stairs, we'll bring all the stuff over here, we'll blast it out. If it's water based, we'll blast it out here. If it's plaster salt, we just take the tape off it and then we just put it straight in the reclaim. All the screens that are ready to reclaim that we haven't had a chance to run through, just go here, 48s, 62s, 90s. We've now got 120s, and I've just ordered a bunch of 55s to try. So we're just doing a little bit of experimenting. Yeah, hopefully, because I'm just sick of ink falling through them because we're using high. I want
to see some racks in there now, Alex, because it pains me to think you're going through all that, and you're resting the screens on the registration points.
He's got one.
Racks.
Got one.
Racks.
Oh, there we go.
Get your screens in your rack. Stop resting them on your reg points.
Racks. Yeah, I know. We should put them in the reclaim room as well, but I don't know. It's just it's like
even if you just turn those screens down and stack them up face up. Instead of being on the registration points, whenever you're resting them on the registration points,
I know why you're saying it now. I've just clicked. So what you're saying is you don't want any. You don't really want pressure on the
cups to be on the floor.
Oh,
right. I see.
Like that,
even if
it's a fair
landscape.
It just put them flat.
Like that. Oh, flat on the. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like that, and just stack them up.
Yeah.
You don't need to know what they are because they're all going into reclaim anyway. So just make a big pile.
They bust, do they?
You scuff and damage the plastic studs, whatever you want to call them.
I see. Interesting.
That makes sense.
Good to know.
You might not notice it now, but in a year's time you will. It's a slow progress. I go to loads of places and I look at the studs and it looks like somebody's run up and down car park with them for an hour.
Oh, really?
And they don't do anything other than rest them on the concrete or rest them on the floor. And it's just over time you pick it up and you just drag it a little bit. And you end up scuffing it or moving it, and then you start to lose reg on press.
Yeah, that's interesting. I will.
Even if you just put the screen ink side down and stack on top of it like a stack of dominoes, it's fine like that as long as it's not resting on those plastic cups.
It's more fun to buy new toys, though, isn't it?
Or buy some racks, yeah.
But I do. But everywhere else, they do sit in racks. To be fair, so as soon as they come out the developer, they go straight on the rack.
So where's your developer? Let's have a look at your developer. How big a footprint's that? That's 2 screens at a time, one in the left, one in the right. Close the door, press the button. How long's it in there for?
It's about 3 minutes, something like that.
3 minutes later, absolutely done, finished. You don't soak them or anything. It's basically image, expose into that developer. And then out into... Are you drying in a drying cabinet or just in fresh air?
So this screen room is... We've got heaters in here and we've got insulation on the ceiling. And we have a dehumidifier in here as well. Right. So this room... screens dry in here so quickly, even without the heating on. So you can put them in here in like 15, 20 minutes. They're good to go.
Do you measure the humidity? Do you know what humidity you're at as a percentage?
There is a. Here we go. That shows you for now.
Yeah. All right, 5%. Yeah, that's great. That's going good.
So that usually hovers between 25 and 45 usually. Depends on,
Yeah.
depend. Like if I come in the morning, it's been
Nothing's
off.
getting sprayed in air. Don't forget. You've
That's
got a
it.
developer which is enclosed. You've got your cleaner which is enclosed. The only bits that's going in air is when you take a screen out.
Yeah, that's it. So what we'll usually do, you see, is we'll put the stuff in the developer, then we'll chuck them on this rack here, and once that rack's full, we'll just wheel that rack into here, and then
so efficient.
and then it's ideal. Then and then they dry really quick, and then we just re-expose and take them.
Love it.
But yeah, it's pretty. It's as I say, it is pretty good considering there's only two of us here. We can get a lot done in a short space of time, really, and
all to the same level as well.
Yeah. And what I love about the screen room is how bright it is in here. So, because
awesome.
so many screen rooms are just, crappy red light.
Yellow bulbs, yeah.
So all I did was just take a standard LED light, covered it in UV protection film, and job done.
I suppose the screens are not in there long enough. I mean, have you tested it? Have you seen if there's any
So I did.
UV pollution?
When we first did it, we what did we do? We left the light on all night, and it did expose the very top screen in the rack.
Right.
Not fully, but enough to have a give it a problem. But so what I've done is I put these boards on top of each rack, so that stops the light hitting the top boards, and then every other screen stops the light from hitting the screen underneath it anyway. You see what I mean?
That's awesome.
Because the frame. So, but yeah, you'd have to leave it on all night and have the screen completely exposed to the light, which it just doesn't happen. So it's all right. So you can work in here for an hour or 2 hours if you have to. So I say I'll often be doing the coating in here, and then on top of the exposure unit, I'll have my laptop. So this is the RIP one, but I'll bring my laptop up here, and then I'll do my seps at the same time, sometimes as coating and putting them on the spider and exposing. Yeah. all at the same time. So
what's the film you put on the lights? What is it?
I'll have to see if I can find it. I'll post it. But it's because back when I was doing some of the other digital stuff, I started doing car wrapping and stuff as well. So designing, car wrap and putting it on the vehicles and whatnot. I just got it from one of those suppliers, I think. I'll find out what it is, but it's not a yellow film. It's like a silvery sort of film. I think I had
UV light.
Yeah, basically. So, and as I say, it seems to do the job. We're using lava, and we don't get any issues at all. It's really, really good. So, and we keep the light on whenever we're working in here. I always say, I'll turn it off when you leave the room.
Been playing with that lava this week. This week down at with that laser, with the screen cube.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with the lava plus lava. Kept calling it wrong thing, but I'm quite impressed with it. Really good high level of detail, nice and strong, nice and quick. Quite liked it actually. It was in and out on that laser. I think it was just 2 minutes on a 62. So that's quite a fast sort of exposure on that.
Yeah,
and good high quality as well.
I'm really happy with it. As I say, we were using Triton before that. So you've got the Alchemy plus lava, and then the Alchemy plus Triton. I think it is. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Triton here. But we stopped using it because it's so hard to reclaim compared to lava.
Right.
So we found we would just put in tons of chems in the reclaim, and so you just end up spending a fortune. So. But we're probably going through. I mean, stencil strip. Every time it's a little bit quieter this week, but we would probably put in. We tend to put half a litre in each chamber at the beginning of the day, and then
you got the same thing in each chamber.
No, so I've got some
ink remover and stencil remover.
No, we've got ink remover and stencil remover in chamber 1.
All right.
And we've got just stencil remover in chamber 2. So we've got the Alchemy 829, I think it is. This, 829.
Yeah.
Aqua Wash, Alchemy Aqua Wash 829. And
Okay.
then we have usually we have the Alchemy stencil strip, but they were out of it, so they've sent me some Sati something. I hope it does the same job.
Right.
So, but yeah,
It probably will.
it is pretty good. It's like, you see,
It's quite clean, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks
20,
good.
30 a day, yeah.
yeah, it's really not bad at all.
Do you put any water in it, or is it just straight Aquash 829?
No, you mix it with water. So,
Yeah.
but when we top it up, we just put it in neat. We don't.
Neat, yeah. Just to strengthen it, yeah.
So, yeah, well, we'll add 500 ml of stencil strip and 500 ml of 829 in chamber 1. Then we'll add 500 ml of stencil strip in chamber 2. But if the water's getting a little bit low, because it does in stencil in chamber 2, then we'll usually maybe chuck a litre of stencil strip in, and then we will, I think it's 1 to 20 with water, so then we'll add
20 litres of water.
yeah, that's it. And then that keeps it pretty good, really. They come out, I mean, because we're printing water-based, we always have to dehaze. So we just make it a habit now that we just dehaze every single screen, no matter what. No questions asked. You don't even look at it and go, do I need to dehaze? It's just, you just dehaze, you know?
Just do it anyway.
Yeah, because sometimes, even if you can't see it, once it's dried, you put it out to coat it, and you're like, oh, crap, there's a bit of ink here I didn't see. Whereas...
Is your dehazer from Pyramid? I take it you buy everything from Pyramid.
Nope, dehazer is from Roper. It is Easy Way 415N.
Yeah. I've used that one.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, but what we do is we water it down 1 to 5. So,
right.
So when you dehaze, it's pretty heavy stuff, isn't it? You know, usually you put it on, you leave it sit for 5 minutes or whatever. Whereas what we do is we mix it 1 to 5 in this bottle.
Yeah.
So it's just water and that dehazer. Then the screen comes out, we spray it, we hit it with a magic sponge, just very quickly, front and back, job done.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing left, you know? It's really, really nice. So, but it's just all these little things, you know what I mean, that you just spend years kind of figuring out, I suppose, you know?
And you're just giving them away for free to everybody that watches this. But...
yeah.
There's only half of them. It's okay, your secret's safe.
Nah, I've always been about sharing my knowledge, really. I love it. I love
good.
I mean, like
it's great to see that you've done a good job on automating it and then finding out the best, because you can't just put a machine and go, right, okay, all your problems are solved. I know loads of people that buy that machine behind you, that reclaim, and go, it doesn't do what they said. They don't come out ready to cut.
Yeah.
No, they don't come out ready to cut. No, you have to know what you're doing with it. You have to either wash them before or wash them afterwards, or look after the chemicals. It's not a magic machine that like Aladdin, and it goes, hey Sesame, here's a clean screen. It is still a science. It's just a more predictable one and a less skillful operator one. And there's no exposure to shit. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's see, when you open chamber number 1, if you open that, oh my goodness, man, it hits you like it's like So it makes you realise just how much it keeps the chemicals inside, which is really good. It would not be the first thing that I would buy again. If I started again,
please tell me you agree with me. First thing you'd buy in the screen room.
Coda.
Yes, thank you very much. Because it makes everything the same.
Yeah.
And then from then on, you start to build up.
Yeah, 100%. If I did it again, I would buy a Coda before anything, even if I was on manual.
Really? That's a real...
100%.
See, I've talked about this before.
100%. I would. And do you know what? I've not even experimented with the Coda very much at all. I don't have.
Do you just run it every screen exactly the same?
No.
You don't have multiple...
it depends on the mesh. So if we're doing a 62 or a 48, then we coat 2 on the squeegee side, 1 on the bottom side. Mainly because the flipping emulsion falls through the mesh. So if you don't coat it 2 on the squeegee side, what happens is you don't have a thick enough coat of emulsion, it just breaks down on the top. So even though it's still
Yeah.
solid on the bottom, you end up with all really bad staining on your mesh, which I hate, and that's really annoying and hard to get out then. So we started coating them 2-1.
Especially water-based.
Yeah. So we started coating them 2-1, and that sort of fixed that issue. But yeah, 62 and a 48 we'll coat 2-1, and 90 we'll coat 1-1. But we just adjust the speed slightly. So when we're coating 2-1, we coat at speed 70, I think, and when we coat at 1-1, the speed is about 30. But like, I've not even experimented with the pressures. I don't have a gauge to measure the thickness of the emulsion. That's something I love, but it's just, it's just a never ending.
It's working for you. I wouldn't even bother. It's working for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell with your fingernail. You can tell from the thickness. You can tell from, like you said, the staining. You can tell from the staining. You can tell from the print, the pressure you need, the squeegee you're using. You don't need a number on it, in my opinion. All right, and I'm an advocate of measure, record, and measure, monitor, and react. But I think in your instance, you've got enough skill to not do that. Now, if we took you out of that, we'd have to put a number to what you think is good.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason we'd have a number is if you weren't there, and you'd have to say, right, every week, check that your 60s come out of this, your 90s come out of this, and your 120s come out of this. And then we can keep everything else the same. But you would know straight away if there was something wrong with the coating on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Have you ever considered, I've always thought, one of the things that attracts me to an auto coater is tote bags. I've always thought that a thicker stencil for a tote bag will produce a better print because or even garments with a high knit, because you almost want a thicker stencil so that you can push that little bit more ink through,
right,
to get a better one-hit print. One of the things I think I would do if I had a auto coater would experiment. So if I knew I was doing a run of totes, maybe my 43s or 55s, I don't know how you adjust it, but just have a thicker stencil.
It depends on what ink you're using as well, because water-based ink, especially Aquaflex, doesn't always like that thicker stencil because it encourages it to dry in around the edge. So it's a tricky subject that doesn't have one answer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'll say we do tons of tote bags, but we we don't really change anything with the coating. It always stays the same. I think we're printing with HB, and a lot of the tote bags are just cheap promo tote bags. They're not even a lot of sometimes they're nice and they're fair trade but a lot of time people just want a cheap promo tote bag. But it is like, I don't know if you ever noticed, if you get like a natural cotton tote bag, it just doesn't soak up water at all. Like we use them as rags all the time, but I don't know why, because they're doing
good at it. They repel water, don't they?
Yeah. And so when you put water base down on them, it can be a little bit tricky. But we found that with the we found with the 48, it just makes it super easy to print. We can stroke pretty fast, and it just goes down and does a great job. 48. We used to use 62, and for a while we even experimented with 90s. But you have to just hit so much pressure and such a slow speed. And, if we're printing bags, most of the time we're going at about 1,000 an hour. And so like
15 hours.
2 of you.
Oh no. No, if there's 2 of us, if there's one person on press, what are we? 700-800 an hour with one person, is it? 650. Kev's 650. I'm 900. Man.
You're pro.
This is Kev in the back. He can't hear you, but
Hey up, Kev.
Hi, Kev.
They say hi. So anything around 650, 700 an hour with one person on press and one person catching. But yeah, the only thing that stops us from not going much faster than 1,000 an hour is the
Dryer?
No.
Dryer?
The speed of the squeegee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
interesting.
speed of the squeegee. So you notice, like, if you're doing a particularly big run and you want to hit that 1,200 an hour mark, then you speed the squeegee up, and you kind of you get to about 11 I think
you
11.
narrow the stroke as slow as small as it'll go.
Yeah, and you can hit maybe 1160, something like that. So it's
Well,
but yeah, but if you've got a person unloading, yeah, you're laughing when 1,000 pieces, it'll take you, I don't know, like, I mean, take stoppage time into consideration, but then we don't, because we run the roller on an old screen. We spray the bottom of the screen with a little bit of glue,
yeah.
and then
It lifts the lint
Get all
up.
the lint and crap.
so then you hardly ever have to stop for fluff, and we used to waste so much time stopping for fluff. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. I've just had to pull off. I must have picked up. I don't know. I bet I could have made a snowball sized little bits of lint over 1,000 tote bags. But you print my first colour. I was like, oh, for God's sake, there's a hairline in it, so I've got to hit it again now. And it did really slow the job up. So I'm just having like a little catcher screens.
In America, they call that a hickey sticker screen.
Hickey sticker.
A hickey sticker. I quite like that.
Right.
That's funny.
Right. Shall we let Alex go get some
We
Lemsip?
will, yeah, because he's obviously looking now like he's got at least another 1,000 prints to print before he goes home.
Oh, do you know what? Tomorrow is a flipping. It is a bit of a mental day. Do you know what the problem we're having right now is? We're having to print really slow because we've taken this freaking press, but and it came with loads of different squeegees and pallets and stuff, but none of them are the size that we need to print tote bags on. So we've got, I think it's 26 centimeters, which is too small. We've got 36 centimeters, which is too big.
Too big.
Our own bag pallets are 32 centimeters, but of course we've only got 10 of them, and she's a 14 station press. But the problem is the flipping skip buttons are not working, so we can't even So the only thing we can do right now is double index her and put half the number of pallets on. So
or just keep putting a shit bag on that one, on them four.
What do you mean?
A shit bag?
Just put a shit bag
scrap shirt?
a scrap shirt on the four big pallets.
Oh,
then you're only missing 4 out of Revolution.
So you can run it anyway.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And then you just chuck your scrap shirts.
Well, when we set the first job up, we just about managed to get the totes on those 4 big ones. So we put the 4 bigger pallets on, but it doesn't work for all of our rest of the stuff.
Yeah,
so
you lose all the skin on the inside of your knuckle here from when you go like that.
It's rough. It's so rough, man. So it's an absolute nightmare at the moment. All of our bag jobs are taking twice as long, which is it's driving us nuts because
So 2 hours then.
yeah, that's it. Because the thing is, it's like, because it's all in my head, when I'm like, yeah, okay, I know roughly we can get this done, and it's throwing me off because we're getting, like today, the last bag came out the dryer as the courier walked through the door. And you're like, crap.
God.
So you just distract him and keep him talking for 5 minutes while Kev puts the box on and tapes it up and sticks the label on and goes,
that's
there
it.
you go, look, here it is.
Have you got your courier drop-offs, collection, like, have you asked them to come bang
as
in
late as
back
possible.
end of day?
We have we have a daily collection with DPD, which is any time between 4 and 5, but they usually turn up bang on 4, or sometimes they'll come early and see if they can get away with it. So it depends on depends on how much we've got to do. It's just that today, because those extra rush orders I was telling you about earlier, it threw it off a little bit. But we were only setting up that job. It was 100-piece purple bags, white print plus print. And we were still setting up at like 20 to 4. And still pulling down the 6 colours from the front print, but we managed to get it on and start running it. But of course, normally we'd be like, "Oh, great, it's going to take 6 minutes," But of course, everything is twice as long, so you're like, "Oh crap, it's not 6 minutes; it's 12 minutes." And then if you have a second because you've got to stop or adjust something, So it was like I think it was like 1 minute to 4, and he walked in, and then he started loading the van with the boxes. And when he came in after the last box, we just got it taped up and the label on, and away he went.
Wow!
But that's
unbelievable.
That's the story of our life. That's what every day is like.
I'm going to say, how often is that an occasion? Because it just sounds like that's just life.
It's all the time. It's all the time. But
have you leave a trail of destruction behind you when you do it like that?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's like
I would. It looked like a toddler had been let loose if I did that.
Sometimes it does. Like at the moment, well, like I've got, I don't know, 9 pots of discharge ink sitting on the floor right now that needs sorting out because you haven't got time to do anything with it. You put the pots down and you grab the next job.
No.
And as I say, it just, and it's not stressful, but it's the days that, like I said today, when they drop something on you and go, this didn't work out or whatever. And but I think anxiety is the thing that gets me most, which is not really. I don't think
you create most of it.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know, but it's definitely not easy. But I think we've done it this way for so long now that it's just what we used to. So, and I think what you're used to is what you're used to, isn't it? It's like, people go, how do you do that? And I don't know, I just do it. Like people say it all the time with 5 kids. They're like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, that's my life.
There ain't another option.
Yeah.
I tried selling one, they came back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Couldn't get rid of them. Yeah. So, it just, but for me, I think doing my head in, like, because we our maximum turnaround is a week, ever. It's never more than a week. Like for me, the idea of something taking more than a week, that gives me anxiety. That does. Flipping heck, man. Just the thought of a job being in for more than a week, because most jobs for us are out the door in 3 or 4 days, and I've often wondered, are we just not very busy or something? Are we just, compared to other guys, are we just like
you're just super efficient.
You're just organised. Yeah, you're just organised, and there's some legacy. Time sometimes, and people say, "Oh, you can't get under 7 days because it used to be 14 and we've taken it to 7 now." So the legacy thinking is that's how long it takes.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any of that preconception, you just go, "Okay, well, if we order it today, it'll be here tomorrow. I can print it in 6 minutes."
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to think about it for 7 days.
Yeah.
When I only have to think about it for 2.
Point.
Yeah.
So it's actually easier for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it for a long time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And it's and that I think, it's such a process, isn't it? Screen printing from placing the order, you've got this massive headache until it's out the door. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got this. It's got to go through every process.
You're thinking about every aspect of it, aren't you? You're thinking about the steps. You're thinking about mixing the colours. You're thinking about making the screens, the colour order, the squeegees you're going to pick. You're thinking about putting it onto the press and how long it's going to take and what you're going to have to move instead of it. You're going through all that in your head, and you probably go through that 3 or 4 times for the same job. Whereas you don't get a chance because you think about it once and then it's done.
Yeah.
I think we've lost Danny. I don't know what happened to Danny, but I think we lost him.
Said recording stopped. Oh, it's recording again now, is it?
Yeah, it's recording. It's because he's the main guy that's recording it. But it's actually recording on your local device, so it might just need leaving open when we leave. But
okay.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll wait for him to come back, if he comes back. I should imagine my phone will be blowing up in a minute saying, what's happened? Oh, he's on his way back, look.
Can't see you, Alex.
Can't see me.
Alex?
We can see everything now. You're all back in now, so we should be okay.
You can see Alex? I can't.
I can see Alex, so it's just you.
All right, well, you'll have to sign us out because I literally can't see anything. For some reason. It's just kicked me out for some reason.
That's what we're going to do now. Is we're going to leave Alex to actually get some work done. Lazy bastard.
Get a couple of lemon sips.
I've got to say, Alex, it's only been like an hour and a bit, but I'm knackered just listening to you. So I've no idea how you do it every day, 7 days a week. So, but it's been an absolutely enthralling episode. So for me, I want to get you on every week. So forget selling T-shirts and pizzas. We're going to have you on every week, yeah. So, all that remains to say is thank you very much, Alex. I don't know, can you see again now, Danny?
No, I'm just nodding and agreeing.
All right, okay. Well, we'll just basically we'll all wave to you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Alex. Thank you very much, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, mate. We'll get you down for some pizza. Maybe, mate. When we open, maybe that's what we got to do. Maybe we need to. Maybe we should just have like a pizza meetup. Get all the printers down.
Is he still here?
Pizza, mate.
I don't know.
He's still here, Danny. We're just going to have a pizza meetup. Pizza printer meetup. All the printers. down for the opening of Alex's Supreme Pizza or whatever he's going to call it
In December, National
with
Pizza
hot
Month.
dogs in Pizza Month.
With hot dogs.
So yeah, that's a definite date. So thank you very much, Alex. It's been an absolute superb whirlwind of an episode. But thank you very much anyway. You go get some printing done.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure, guys. Take care.
See ya. Bye.
Ta-ra.
Cheers, Alex, if you can hear me.
Wow.
Is it just me and you now?
Just me and you now, yeah, he's gone, yeah.
Oh, that is
Wow,
probably
what
the
an
only episode where I've said about 3 words. Oh,
Me too.
fantastic.
And I'm normally talking over top of it. I couldn't get a word in. He's like, wow.
Lordy.
He's doing well. He's doing well. Bless him.
That is a lad to inspire to, because he's a million mile an hour, but so organised at the same time. It's like, how can you have so much on and so much chaos, but somehow you're so efficient and organised at the same time? It's very, it's a very
spending
contrasting.
a lot of money. Isn't it?
Well,
He's
there's that,
spending a lot of money. I've known Alex for quite a while, and
with it.
Watching him get so organised has been great. But it meant, but I think buying the developer was the first big thing he bought, and then from then on, it was just been like, okay, I've seen what a difference this makes. Let's apply it here, and apply it here.
But he's definitely got one of those. I don't know how to phrase it other than fuck it. Let's just give it a go. Let's just go for it. Just very ballsy bloke. I'm sure it's of course it's very calculated and stuff like that. But happy-go-lucky, maybe that's a good phrase to go for. Happy-go-lucky and balls the size of bulldozers. Balls.
Pizza ovens.
Pizza ovens. A lot to learn from that bloke. I think everybody can take something away from Alex.
Absolutely, yeah.
Pretty great episode, that. I loved it. Right, enjoyable.
Yeah, superb. So I'm going to now go and get some dinner and have a beer on behalf of Alex. I'll just think about him running about, and I'll just sit down, put my feet up. Because I've had a busy day talking to a computer all day, and leave him to it. Even you've been busy printing tote bags, but she blows it away.
Jeez,
so all that remains
totally.
to be said is join us again next time, because I think we'll do something like that again next time.
Who's
that was
coming up next, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, send your applications in if you can beat that. So
if you slip 20 quid in, it'll help your chances.
It's gone down.
Yeah, get desperate.
So thank you very much for joining us. It's been a superb pleasure. If you like what you see, don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Better than that, tell everybody you know to listen to Chippy Tea. It's been great with me, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny D, Flip and Sweet Print Co.
We will
next week.
See you later.
All best.
I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a Chippy Tea.